So this will be hearing on Senate 127, an act authorizing the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to establish additional mandated reporters for the purpose of the protection and care of children. Good to see our friends from Foxboro here.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Bill Livingstone as well, members of the committee, and of course to your staff who do a great job on this committee with all the issues. I really want to thank you, Chair Kennedy, especially for coming down to Foxboro. The people that are here today to testify, 4 individuals, 3 who you'll hear from that I have an enormous amount of respect for, and I know you share that as well, who have put their pain that we experience in our community and turned that into purpose, that took tragedy and turned it into training. Madam Chair, members of the committee, this bill that we've been filing for many, many sessions, this committee has been instrumental in making sure that it moves along each session. This bill would essentially do 2 pretty simple things in our view. 1, increase the amount of people that are considered mandated reporters in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Simply put, if you come in contact with children in the community, then there should be a level of training that you receive as a mandated reporter. It's not about liability. We've had certain folks come to us that may oppose the bill and say, look, this is about liability. It's not. It's about scalability for training. It's about bringing awareness to these issues, making sure that people have the training available so that if they see red flags, it can be reported. That's what this bill does. In a nutshell, we've been working on for many years. I want to thank the members of this committee as well as the Office of the Child Advocate for working with us to kind of get this in a shape where I think we can get it over the finish line this year, Madam Chair. And with that, I want to turn it over to this panel who have been through it. And you will see that the town of Foxboro is one town out of 351 that found a way to do this, to get everybody in the community that deals with kids trained, whether they are volunteers, youth sports coaches, clergy, folks that are volunteers within our schools and with other social organizations in the community. They are now trained to recognize the signs, and we think that we can scale this, not just for one community, but for 351 across the state. So if I could, Madam Chair, I'll turn it over to the panel for testimony.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Madam Chair, thank you for coming to Foxboro to meet with us last month. Good afternoon. My name is James DeVellis. I'm a resident of Foxboro and a former member of the Select Board. 13 years ago, a group of men came forward with something heartbreaking. They revealed that they had been sexually abused in the 1960s and 70s by a trusted Foxboro teacher, recreation director, and scout leader. His name was Bill Sheehan. Instead of being held accountable, Sheehan left town with a letter of recommendation and went to abuse more children in Florida for another 10 years. That's 3 decades of abuse, 3 decades of silence. Some people in authority knew, but they did nothing. When these survivors came to us, we listened and we said, we believe you, we are sorry, and we asked them what we can do. They did not ask for money. They said, you can't undo what happened to us, but you can help make sure it doesn't happen to our children and our grandchildren. Help Foxboro be ready, educate, train, and prevent. So we did. We built a sexual abuse awareness bylaw, collaborating across 10 sectors of our community. It passed unanimously, and with a very small budget and all volunteers, we've trained thousands, from town employees to youth leaders. It is working. It's saving lives. But the job is not done. 8 years ago, we started pushing to change the weak, outdated state reporting laws. We've walked the halls of this state house, presented and represented bills, and every time we were told, be patient, it's moving forward. But the children can't wait. Please let this be the year we act. Not another year of abuse, not another year of silence, not another year without accountability. Thank you for listening and standing with us today.
I'd like to echo the gratitude for Senator Kennedy coming down to meet with us, and also appreciate the Joint Committee of Children and Families and Persons with Disabilities here. Would like to thank Senator Paul Feeney, as well as the past support of Representative Jay Barrows on why we're here, and then current support from Michael Chason. I'm one of the members of the Foxboro Child Sexual Abuse Awareness Committee. My name is Amy Bertos, and I'm the Superintendent of Schools in Foxboro. I'd like to begin with some facts here, because that's what we do as educators. And that is that child abuse is far more prevalent than what people realize. It occurs in every community, across all ethnic and socioeconomic and religious backgrounds. It is the most prevalent health problem that children face, with the most serious array of consequences. Based on available data, that we know that 1 in 10 are abused before their 18th birthday. 1 in 7 girls and 1 in 25 boys. Children with intellectual and developmental disabilities are 3 to 8 times more likely to be abused than their non-disabled peers. Identified incidents are declining, although there's no clear indication of the cause, but could it be the mandated reporters? So imagine if we were able to close the gaps in the mandated reporter law and the impact that it could have. So we know that 26% of survivors disclose their abuse to adults and 12% disclose to authorities. We also know that false reports of child sexual abuse made by children are rare. It is less than 5% of those reports that would be considered intentionally fabricated. So the current law, it represents a limited scope. Why should we be limiting it? Based on profession, based on pay status, based on affiliation, etc. So how can we really put prices on the protection of children? Because we are all stewards of children. It is astonishing that in the education arena of teachers, administrators, guidance counselors, and child care providers that are mandated reporters under law, that we would treat any other employees differently. So we need to expand that. If you think about the day-to-day activities in a school, it's quite unlikely that only the employees that are the teachers or administrators or counselors might hear or witness something. In fact, it's more likely that another type of staff member might witness something, particularly in any unstructured areas and in extended day settings in other areas within schools. So as educators, we care very deeply about the protection of children, and our goal should always be to have the most eyes and ears on this vulnerable population. But eyes and ears are not enough to be a mandated reporter, because it puts a greater impetus on individual staff members to share concerns and not remain silent out of lack of confidence or not knowing one's role during these uncomfortable moments. So training is critical. In Foxboro, we have conducted training since 2012 with all faculty, staff, bus drivers, coaches. It doesn't matter who you are. We already expand that definition of who is a mandated reporter. And we have not had difficulty in expanding that and the training to go along with that. So through that training, we've been able to become more comfortable talking about the uncomfortable. And as a result, we're able to protect children. So to summarize, our district-wide initiative to raise awareness and to ensure that all staff members have the tools and the training to identify and confront suspicions about child sexual abuse, it's been well received. We've been able to do it. We've been able to do it successfully, and it is and continues to be a high priority for our community. If we're able to do it in a school system and across all areas, why are others not able to do it? And we would argue that they easily can.
Hi, my name is Kay Anberg. I also am a member of the Foxboro Child Abuse Awareness Committee and a volunteer for the town as a trainer for the Darkness to Light Stewards of Children program, a child sexual abuse prevention program.
Okay, I apologize,
it's
but
time.
we're going to have the time wrap, and as you can see, we have a lot of folks to testify, but please do submit it. I know we have a lot of information from you already, and I do just want to make a comment in addition to what you shared, as I said when I was in Foxboro, but want to reiterate, because it's not just for the work you've done to train individuals, but I want to go back to what you pointed out. Thank you as elected officials for beginning with "We Believe You" and hearing the young men that came forward and being willing to address and make sure it doesn't happen again. So thank you.
Thank you for saying
Are
that.
there any questions from the committee?
Madam
Okay,
Chair,
here.
if I could, Representative Jason couldn't be here with us. Is the House sponsor has submitted written testimony, as well as former Representative Jay Dars. So she'll be on its way.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
all.